more because we're on now. I'm going to complain because we're live now on the enormous snow supercell thingy extravaganza, show number 26. Matt and Jeff are here about to shiver and freeze because it's getting colder by the second, minute, hour. And
yep.
And the first thing I'm going to complain about is the snow that is falling outside.
Boo.
I went and shoveled my driveway at noon. It's now covered again. I am not going back out and shoveling it again. Nope, not happening.
Boo.
So I might end up having to do it probably tomorrow when it's going to be below zero and the wind chill is going to be bad. I mean, I can stand temperatures below zero if there's no wind. But unfortunately, there's going to be wind.
And lots of it.
And, yeah, and wind chills down to minus 30 to minus 40, which more likely is going to take place early tomorrow morning, like, say, 6 to maybe 9 a.m. So I would take a good guess. There'll be a lot of churches that are probably not even going to have services because they don't want to bring the people. They don't want to have people going out and possibly getting stranded somewhere or something.
Yep.
So, which is really bad given that it's right before Christmas, and because we're a week before Christmas. Christmas is a week from tomorrow, as we're doing this on the 17th of December. And it's the 17th of December. It's snowing outside. Whoop-de-doo. It's bad. We're on the, what, 4th or 5th snowstorm, and I'm already like, get rid of this crap. I don't want it because I'm sick of it because it's been so cold. I mean, the temperatures have been, I don't think it's cracked 20 only once in the last 8 days or something like that. 20. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm looking forward to, okay, go away, Kaspersky. Good grief. Okay, Kaspersky is pissing me off. Anyway, but that's not going to be a rant. So for those that are thinking I'm going to rant about anything that just pops up, no. But yeah, next week it's supposed to warm up to like near freezing. I'm thinking, yeah, I'll wait to see it. It'll be 10 below probably 3 days from now. And they'll say, it's going to be 55 million below zero, and it's going to be snowing 6,000 inches.
55 million below zero. Wow.
Yeah, which would be below that absolute zero, but
yeah, by a couple million.
Yeah, I can handle cold weather. I just can't handle cold weather plus wind.
I can't handle cold weather, period. I'll say it once, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. If I had my way, I could just like during the wintertime fly to Bora Bora for the winter and then come back here for tornado season, and then fly back when it gets cold again.
Yeah, I speaking of, I just spelled, oh, yeah, here we go. Speaking of Bora Bora right now, the current temperature in Bora Bora, you may want to know this, is 80.
Woohoo!
And it's cloudy.
Afternoon showers.
And they're expecting showers and thunderstorms every day, except today. They didn't have any. And highs around 80 and lows in the mid-70s.
I'm completely happy with that.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't like lows in the mid-70s. That would mean turning on fans and.
Yeah, that's what they make air conditioning. Just turn it on low and call it good. And wrap up in a blanket and go to sleep. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, well, yeah. But just for the benefit of Matt and wanting to flee the country, I showed this earlier before we started recording, and I'm going to show it again. So bear it, because this is what the HRRR is showing for tomorrow morning, and these are actual temperatures. Matt, when he saw this, said, "Are those wind chills?" Nope. These are the actual temperatures that are forecasted by the HRRR. I have been looking at this model pretty much all day. It's not changed a whole lot. It's still saying between about 10 below near Burlington to about 30 below up by the lakes, by Spirit Lake, up Spencer and up that way. Yeah, I don't like these.
I don't either.
Yeah, and here's the funny. That's what's really funny about this one is, and I'm hoping this is going to drop down. The 0 degree line goes all the way down to near St. Louis. It goes down into Oklahoma, and I would have to bring up the continental United States map, which I'm going to right now on this HRRR. So let me do that right now. And then I'll bring it back to the 14-hour period, which is right in here. Boom. And this is what it looks like. I mean, you have the freezing line down to Houston and up through the Tennessee River Valley and then up through New England. The 0 degree line, it says at 8 a.m. Central Time, Oklahoma City's temperature -1 in Oklahoma City. You ain't going to be tornadoes there for a while. And I've heard in Kansas City 12 below, Salina 18 below. I know Kansas City has had lots of accidents because they had snow, and they have had
ice.
Yes,
and ice. Major ice issues there, and out in Oregon too.
Yeah, because we'll get to that because they had a really bad ice and snowstorm out here. And even this, I mean, even Seattle and Portland are below below freezing. I mean, it's not warming up. It's not warm anywhere. I mean, look at even Los Angeles, 43. Ugh, I don't like that either. I mean, you look at this wonderful temperature, 80 in Miami, but that's not going to last. So, I mean,
the question is, as powerful as this front is, will it make it that far? That's kind of the benchmark for a truly, anomalous storm this time of year is the cold front making it to Miami.
Well, let me bring up, this is the 3-kilometer NAM 18Z. And you can see right here, you can see the cold air damming right here.
Mm-hmm. Classic.
Which is the reason why the severe weather is not going to go very much further than probably about right here because of the cold air damming coming in with the northeast flow.
Mm-hmm.
But this 3-kilometer NAM goes out is every hour through hour 60. And you can, I mean, it's clear as day where the front goes. The front gets to about roughly about Central Florida, and then it starts to stall. Looks like Jacksonville, Tallahassee, I-10 corridor is going to be cold, but Miami doesn't look like they're going to be affected. The Bahamas not affected. Orlando and Tampa may drop maybe 10 degrees, but not. I mean, 62.
They'll be right on the shift, I think.
I mean, it looks so it's not going to get totally down to Florida, but then by this point, most of this cold air has now moderated and is lifted back into Canada. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this is just a model, but it does indicate that it's going to modify because this cold snap is not supposed to last very long. I'll wait we'll see about that because cold snaps tend to be, and I've heard numerous meteorologists mention this, cold snaps are very hard to get rid of because cold air does not move very fast.
Mm-mm.
It comes in really fast, but it tends to stick around a little bit too long. So when I'm seeing the temperature Sunday tomorrow is supposed to only be 5 or 6 below, but Monday we're supposed to have a high in the middle teens above 0 after a low about 14 or 12 below. I'm thinking we would have to have the low early for the temperature to rise that quickly.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to happen unless we get a strong south wind, but then we'll be back under a wind chill warning again.
Mm-hmm.
So because we're under a wind chill warning tonight. But yeah, but as Matt mentioned, over here in the Northwest, they had, especially Portland, they had a really bad snow and ice storm, all in Oregon, down through the Willamette Valley. I think down to Eugene was really bad. Salem was pretty bad. There was some people that compared it to the Carmageddon that occurred in Atlanta, Birmingham a few winters ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because a lot of people were leaving their cars. So, I mean, it is the Northwest. They do get snow, but they don't get surprise snows. This one was slightly surprising. I mean, it was forecasted, but I think it was slightly more surprising than most people were predicting. And it kind of caught everybody off guard. So, unfortunately, it caught a lot of people on the roads.
Mm-hmm.
So, now I've never been up there. I'm hopefully going to go up there since my mom's half brother lives up near Seattle, and I'd go with her then. I don't know when that's going to be. I think next year. We'll see. But the area, of course, has the mountains, as would be apparent. But the area around Seattle, Portland, very close to sea level. They don't typically get the snow level that far down. But they did this case because this cold air is just funneling in everywhere. So it unfortunately funneled in there. So they had ice, a little bit of sleet and snow. So it was fairly difficult for a while there.
Oh, yeah.
At that point.
I heard reports somewhere on Twitter. I believe it was off of Aubrey Urbanowicz's Twitter feed. I think she retweeted something a couple of days ago, saying that some locations received almost a foot of ice.
Yeah, I don't know if that was.
Does that make? I'll have to look it up. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I don't know if that was kind of true or not. I think it was there was at least a good half an inch to inch, because there was a lot of trees that were coated. I saw a picture.
Maybe it was a full
Twitter.
inch.
Yeah,
maybe it was an inch.
Yeah, you can't get a foot of ice. I mean, I'm sorry. That's kind of an inch of ice is devastating enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I think an inch sounds more right, given the fact that there's a lot of moisture. The cold air came in, especially when it comes in down through the Columbia River Gorge from the east into Portland.
Mm-hmm.
You get it in there, it funnels in, and then it spreads out, especially in Portland, where you have the Willamette Valley go down toward the south, and it tends to spread out there. So, yeah, it's that's really bad. That area around Portland on southward and even a little bit northward. Seattle seemingly was spared. They had very little problem. Because I know former Polygon guest, Scott Sistek, who does the weather blog for Channel 4 in Seattle, and he also does it for Channel 2 in Portland, both owned by Sinclair, that he was mentioning about Portland was just getting nailed and Seattle was not, and it was kind of hit and miss. That there was a thought that it may have been worse for Seattle, not Portland, but it went more toward Portland. So,
yeah,
it's just been a wacky winter of fun. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, and I mentioned this before, that while this Arctic front is coming through, we have, as we can plainly see, I hope I can see. Let me see. Yeah, we do. We have some severe thunderstorm warnings. We had a tornado warning down here that was near Pine Bluff. It was northeast of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. It's since expired. I can bring it back up because there it is. But there's a little bit of severe weather going on. This cell looks of interest, but
I think this is the best way to explain this whole winter weather system that's causing us our grief and will be causing severe weather down south. This is from a forecast discussion from the NWS yesterday, I believe from Dallas. This front will have all the nuance and subtlety of a Sherman tank.
Yep, I saw that. Okay, here, and this is the thing. I saw this right before we went on. Dallas Fort Worth, it snowed today at 5 o'clock. They reported flurries.
Wow.
And this morning they were in the 60s, and now they're expected tonight to drop into the teens. I also saw, and I want to bring this up because this and you can see the severe weather. And I mentioned this to Matt earlier. Right now, the freezing line, the 32-degree line, is just north of these thunderstorms, and that is moving southeast fairly quickly. So I'm hoping that these thunderstorms we don't have freezing rain and whatnot. I'm hoping not. Cross fingers, because I don't think we want to have an ice storm. There is a chance that there'll be some freezing drizzle and whatnot, like down here in Tennessee River Valley, middle Tennessee, maybe northern Mississippi. There'll be some freezing drizzle and a little bit of freezing rain. I'm hoping that a lot of this precipitation is gone or has moved down here into like the Golden Triangle area of east central Mississippi into like Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, and up through Georgia and whatnot. But when you have cold air coming in from the northwest, you have the cold air damming coming in from the northeast. I mean, it's not going to take a whole lot for this cold weather and the cold air damming to merge and make a real mess of everything. But I'll take this off because I saw a tweet and I took Twitter off because I'm trying to save the computer from going completely haywire because started acting up right before I had the video started and whatnot. Now it's trying to load 60,000 things. And it's like, yeah, I think I better calm down. But I want to find the one thing I saw on Twitter, and now I'm getting notifications. Why am I getting notifications? Okay, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They're having the Division II football championship. Guess where? Kansas City. I only know that because the University of North Alabama is played in it, and I'm getting a lot of about that. And yeah, they didn't win. That's the thing. That's the tornado warning. The temperature at the Weather Service Des Moines is now 0. Tuscaloosa had a record high of 76 today. They won't be anywhere near that tomorrow morning. Parts of northeastern Arkansas have now switched over. We have supercells that are now switching over to freezing rain and sleet. Oh, great.
Wow.
That's the tornado. That's something from the thing. That's tornado warning in Arkansas again, which is the same one. That's the tornado warning. I have to scroll through my Twitter account on this, me complaining about the show. That's close to what I want to use, but I want to use the one that I saw from. I might end up having to go and look it up. This is what happens when I'm trying to look up something and then I can't find it. No, but it's in the right ballpark because this was the one thing when I mentioned a freezing line. Dyersburg, Tennessee, which is in northwest Tennessee, is down to 39, and that was at 6 o'clock or at 7 o'clock. What were they at 6 o'clock? They were 39. They're 39 at 7 p.m. What was Dyersburg, Tennessee at 6 p.m.? Can I take yes?
74.
66.
Mm.
So they dropped 27 degrees in an hour. So anyway, but that's not what I was looking for. Snow and moving into Arkansas. Whoop-de-doo. Heavy snow in Missouri. Whoopie. Aha! This is what I think I just heard myself going, aha. This is what I want. This is from Oklahoma Mesonet. So hopefully it's going to screen share. It takes me this long to finally use it. This is from Oklahoma Mesonet. That is the 24-hour temperature change in the state of Oklahoma this afternoon.
Wow.
And let's look at this wonderful temperature up here. Whoops. Did it just disappear on you? Yeah,
No.
Here it goes. Okay, here it goes. Let's look at this. Minus 70. Up here in the Oklahoma Panhandle. let's
Up near
compare.
Diamond, right?
It's actually Eva, Oklahoma's mesonet
Oh,
site.
okay.
Yeah, near Diamond.
Okay.
But then let's look at this lovely plus 30 over here near Idaho. So yeah, these aren't. I don't like these temperatures. So yeah, that's what was going on. And I mean, here was the wind chill or the heat index. This was this afternoon. We had 78 compared to 21 below zero for a wind chill, between a wind chill and a heat index. I don't think you're ever going to see an almost 100-degree difference between one part of the state and another. And I know Oklahoma City's been having really bad, several accidents too tonight. But
yeah, they're seeing frozen precipitation as we speak.
Yeah, they're having snow right now. And that was my first rant because I'm getting sick of cold weather and whatnot. But oh, the notification was you. Now I'm going to complain about that. But no. Anyway.
Oh,
but there's one rant, and I don't know because if we want to discuss more current weather or not, because it's cold. I mean, and there's severe weather, and we've kind of discussed that. But there's one thing I wanted to discuss, and no, it has nothing to do with cookies, and no, it has nothing to do with anything else about supplies or whatnot, although I can complain about why the city is not plowing the streets right now, but I digress. Because they did earlier, and now it snowed again, and they're not. But I digressed. Okay, there's this game that some people may know about called City Skylines. It's pretty much like SimCity on steroids.
Huh.
And don't fret, because I'll bring it up. So just wait a minute, because I'm going to bring it up. And I would buy it, but my computer, my desktop is too old, and this laptop is barely at minimum of what it takes. The game came out over a year ago. But what I'm mentioning about that, because here it is on Steam. So it's $30. You get deluxe, it'd be $40. But this is not this is what I'm going to complain about. It's not about the game in question. It's about the Natural Disasters DLC that came out about 2 weeks ago. And the thing, and what's in the Natural Disasters? Weather. That's how I'm connecting it to weather. You have tornadoes. You have thunderstorms. You have sinkholes, earthquakes, meteors, tsunamis, etc., etc., etc.
Really?
So I'm watching people play this and go, "Ooh, look at me! I'm too hot to trot," or whatever. And they're like, "Ooh, give me money! I have 5 million subscribers," and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, these people cannot plan a city worth the crap. Here, and the people are like, "Oh, a tornado's coming! Sound the sirens." Guess what? There are in the game.
Cool.
Yeah, because and I'm like, "Oh, I'll just let all the people die." And they plan wrong. They put in stupid things. It drives me absolutely nuts. But I continue to watch it because it's interesting. Because it's natural disasters and it sounds cool. Because you want to have a game have actual disasters or actual things that happen, like a thunderstorm or a tornado or an earthquake or whatever. And they also have other DLCs, including ones that have snow, which came out earlier a couple months ago. But it kind of is like, because it pisses me off when people are playing it and they're like, "I'm cool, look at me, I have lots of stuff, I can draw roads and do this and whoop-de-doo." That's all well and fine, because but I want to, like, and I said this on Twitter a few days ago, it's like I want to take these people and punch them in the face. Because they're just annoying and they drive me nuts. And there's several YouTube people that drive me nuts. It's like, Argh! So, and then, which I didn't mention this, because another game that it came out earlier this year, Forza Horizon 3, They just had a big DLC. It came out last week, which is Blizzard Mountain, which means snow. So now all these people are driving in snow, and there's one certain person that I just want to just scream at them, and I know who it is, and I'm not going to mention his name, Justin, but that he's because he and I have tweeted, because I tweeted to him because he complained, because he lives in Houston, that he complained, it's going to be 37 tonight. Our climate sucks, or whatever the heck. And I told him I'd trade him my temperature, and he said, oh, I'm happy with my 37 now. But he's done the things, and he complains about driving in snow on the new DLC on Forza Horizon 3, and it's like, he lived in Connecticut for a time. I'm like, I'm sorry, you lived in Connecticut. Didn't you drive in snow? I want to, but I might get this game and this DLC when I get a new computer, but likely it's not going to happen now because it costs $30 or $40 for the deluxe, and then the DLC is another $14. But it's a cool game, and I like seeing people play it. But it's just the way they plan the city; they don't plan it properly. They put in roundabouts, and the problem is and this goes back to a thing we've discussed before. Excuse me, the roundabouts in Marion, where they like, ooh, let's put an interstate right to a roundabout, and then they wonder, well, why is our traffic all messed up? Well, you put a interstate right to a roundabout. What do you think's going to happen? My God, want to just. So it's like cold air, like Arctic bitter cold air like this, plus people that drive me nuts makes me very cranky. So, but it's just, so I don't know what else. There's not much else except for the fact that I used twice as much water this month from my water bill, which made me mad, but I don't think I have anything else worth ranting about. I mean, I'm kind of half ranted out. I mean, I want to be in the holiday spirit because it's Christmas. It's like joy. It's joy to the world and deck the halls. Not scream and yell and rant. So
I don't have a whole lot to rant about either. This week's been a good week. It's nobody did anything too crazy weather-wise or doing anything really shit, dare I say, stupid. Yeah. So this is a pretty good week.
Yeah, I drove to Cedar Rapids yesterday when it started snowing because my mother had to get a battery from the battery store because we had gone there the day before on Thursday, and they put a new battery in the garage door opener that my mother has because there's two for her garage. I had one opener and my mother has the other. Hers wouldn't work, so then we took the battery. It's dead. They replaced it. She went home. It didn't work. We had to drive there yesterday. It started snowing and it was kind of really in. I didn't like driving in that, and it's like, ugh. But we drove there, found out the battery had shorted out. I don't know how that. But the battery's working, so it's all fine now. But driving around, and it was kind of slippery because we were at Lindale. We went to Cheddar's to eat lunch because we were like, we'll go eat because I want to go eat. By the way, I had steak and a half rack of baby back ribs, and I'm surprised I'm still living.
Woo, nice.
And that came with 2 sides, and I ate that too. Which would be, God, what did I have? Southern green beans and broccoli cheese casserole. But anyway, now you'll want to go there. Have you ever been there?
Have I ever been where?
To Cheddar's.
Cheddar's? No, I have not.
You are. Now I'm going to rant about you not being to Cheddar's.
It doesn't really appeal to me. It's I'm not one that likes chains a whole lot. I mean, I've eaten at them. We've eaten at them before together. But if I'm actively seeking a place to go out to eat, and I have the time and the ability financially to seek out a place that's kind of off the beaten path,
like Bright Box.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I go to that place because it supports local people, local economy, meaning that the money stays there. None of the money goes outside of the state or outside of the country like some chains.
Burger King.
Yeah, right. And quite honestly, a lot of times the food's better because the people actually preparing the food are actually skilled at what they're doing. They actually know what they're doing. They actually know how to prepare the things that they are preparing properly, and they taste better. I mean,
and
plain
typically
and simple.
And typically the food, some cases, is locally grown.
Yeah.
I know there's some places, because I know Cheddar's is not it is a chain, but it's not like it's like 5,000 restaurants. However, there's certain places, I mean, like, for example, there's several barbecue places down in the South. There's like family run, but there's multiple locations. So we're
Right.
we're talking about family owned, but they could have multiple locations. Kind of like Jim and Nick's down in Birmingham, Alabama. I think they have like 5 or 6 locations.
Yep.
I've always wanted to go, and it's a chain, and again, to go to Logan's Steakhouse in the South. It's only in the Southeast, which kind of makes me mad. I mean, if I want to get mad, I just get furious that here, this is what I don't like about Cedar Rapids, and I'm going off again because now you've started me on this.
Uh-oh.
There is in Cedar Rapids no Cracker Barrel. There is no Denny's. There is no Golden Corral. I have to drive to Davenport to go to them. There is no Waffle House because I'd have to drive. The nearest one to me is in suburban St. Louis. I don't want to drive 4 hours to go eat a waffle. And I wouldn't go to Waffle House to eat a waffle. I'd go to Waffle House to eat something else, probably an omelet. Except this is what pissed me off. Now I'm going to go off again. I went to Waffle House when we were coming back from, Henry and I came back from NWA last year. And I ate at the Waffle House in Joplin, Missouri. And they did not have my omelet that I had always gotten at Waffle House when I'd eaten there at any Waffle House on the menu anymore. And I was so pissed. Given the fact I had to hear about soap opera right near me because there was a soap opera going on with people and hubby pubby and girly or doing whatever. And that's a whole nother story, but because that's kind of a bit, I don't remember all the details, but I just remember it's kind of like soap opera going on over there. It's like soap opera at the Waffle House. But I ended up having a steak there. Steak wasn't bad. I mean, at a Waffle House, it's a chain, but it acts like, because it's like a diner, but it kind of acts local, but it kind of is a chain. Because I always like Waffle House, because it's like, oh, Waffle House.
Yep.
But, I mean, going back to my complaining, and I can keep going. There's no Cheesecake Factory in Cedar Rapids. I had to drive with my mother a month or so ago to Madison, Wisconsin, which is the nearest one, surprisingly, because Des Moines Cheesecake Factory is just a skosh further away than the Madison.
Huh.
Which is interesting. The Madison one, it took my mother and I 2 hours and like 15 minutes.
Wow.
To get one to Madison.
Okay.
I'm thinking it only takes us 2 hours and something to get to Madison. Why in the hell are we not going to Madison instead of like Des Moines? Like, let's go to Madison. Yeah, we're taking our money and going to Wisconsin. So, but there's just no, it's like let's open the 50th Burger King. That's nice. When am I going to get a Jack in the Box? When am I getting a Denny's, a Cracker Barrel, a Golden Corral? When am I getting that? Never, I guess. But we'll be fine of opening another 50,000 Burger Kings and McDonald's that I don't want.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait till they open the 10th different Dunkin' Donuts, which they're opening on the west side, by the way. But
yes, they are.
so, but I mean, I don't want to drive far distances to go get the food that I want. Now there's like Cheddar's, which I was like, I don't want to go there, and I've eaten there now 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's places and this is funny because my father, when he was still alive, he didn't want to go very few places. He was like the antithesis of your thing. He didn't want to go to locally owned places because he wasn't sure the food was good, or if the food was even cooked, or if they'd even passed a health inspection.
Oh, wow.
He was like, I'm going to only eat here and here and here. It took us almost hand over fist to get him to eat at Cracker Barrel. Then we couldn't get him to stop going to Cracker Barrel in Davenport. We'd have to drive an hour to go to Davenport to Cracker Barrel. But, I mean, since my father has passed away, my mother and I have eaten at Olive Garden, which my father would never have eaten at. Applebee's, Cheddar's, I mean, Red Robin. We've pretty much gone anywhere, but it's kind of sad. There's a lot of the places that he liked to go. One of the places he liked going was Village Inn, and then they tore it down. That happened after he died. And it's like, yep, they knew he had died, and they all closed. So, and it's a Panda now, which I've told my mother, we can eat there, because I'm more open to eating at places like Bright Box or whatever. Because I wanted to take my mother up there after we went up there when we did our leaf stuff. But now the weather's kind of, so, I mean, they're still open, but they're only open like a shorter winter schedule.
Right.
But I'm not going to want to drive up there when there's snow everywhere and it's 50,000 below. So it's probably going to be later into the winter. So.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But the thing is, my mother has always been, well, why do we have to eat at the chain restaurants? She's like you. It's like, I don't want to eat at blah, blah, blah. We'll eat at chain restaurants, but we kind of like mix it around. We don't eat at the same place. We go to McDonald's and we go to Burger King. Because I'm pissed because I've only had one McRib during this McRib season. Because it's McRib time, and I've only had one. Well, actually 2, because I got one and then buy one for $1. So I've had 2. That's all I've had. So,
speaking of McRibs, have you heard of the McRib girl?
No.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. And that's
Hold on a second.
And now this. Yeah, Matt's like me. He's now running to look for the thing. He may have found it. He may not have found it. And now he's disappeared. And now Matt has returned.
That was strange. I don't know why that happened.
He probably did something.
But there was a girl that about a year or so ago approached the city council of, I believe, San Bernardino, and pleaded and asked for the city council to ask the local McDonald's in that area to bring back McRibs. And the way she did it is probably the most passionate way I've ever seen somebody plead for a food item in my life. And I just sent you the link to the YouTube video.
Oh dear, do we want to look at this?
I would say look at it afterwards. It's
Yeah.
about 3.5 minutes long, but it's kind of great. It's kind of great. And the thing is, she's being serious. She's being dead serious.
Well, it is interesting that I note that they bring back McRib, but it's not national anymore.
No, it's up to the regional managers.
And they pretty much know this area. They are like, yes, we're having it, because it's always been in the Midwest.
It's funny, she brings that up in the video. She brings that point up and during her plea.
So and then when you had to mention San Bernardino, that makes me mention of the other places that we don't have. There's no In-N-Out Burger. There's no Whataburger. I could go off on everything that we don't have.
Yeah. We don't have Del Taco, which there's some people around here that might like Del Taco. I personally despise it, but when you're broke and you love tacos.
I bet something happened when you were during an event at Bakersfield, I bet.
No. I just can't stand Del Taco. I cannot stand their tacos.
Oh, have you even eaten one?
Yeah, I've eaten plenty of Del Taco. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Well,
I think they are worse than Taco Bell.
You hate worse. Taco Bell? Shane?
Yes, I hate Taco Bell.
Well, do you like Taco John's?
For the potato olays. I can eat potato olays all day long. And Taco Tuesday, and while their tacos aren't the best, they're better than Taco Bell, so they're okay. Taco Tuesday, yeah. If I want some tacos on Taco Tuesday, you bet you're behind I'm going to Taco John's.
Here's the funny thing. This happened. I bought a 6-pack in a pound.
Nice.
And I ate it all.
Atta boy.
This is funny. I'm like, I ate the 6 tacos and I had the one thing of potato olays. And then I looked in the sack and I was like, oh, there's another thing of potato olays. I only ate half a pound of my potato olays and I had another half pound left. My God. It was good though. Because what I do, and this was good for those that would go in the place. I always get like their pico de gallo and I start getting their stuff. I start grabbing their stuff. When I got the 6-pack in a pound, I went through drive-through. I had to drive clear to Maquoketa to get it.
Wow. Okay.
Because the closest one would be the one near Lindale, the one that's kind of in that gully. But it's like between traffic and going through Marion and stop go, it makes more sense for me to just drive straight through to Maquoketa, where I'd only have to stop in maybe around the few stoplights around here, the stop sign in Wyoming where I'd have to turn left, and maybe and since Taco John's is before all the stoplights in Maquoketa, it's like drive in, drive out, you're done.
Wow.
So, but I mean, when I went there and got a taco combo thing, when I went inside, I was like grabbing the pico de gallo and the salsa and whatnot, and I would just take it and I eat it because I always loved pico de gallo. Because the first place that I ever was served pico de gallo was Denny's, and I was like, woo! And I started liking it. I started eating it all the time with tacos. I'd throw pico de gallo and whatnot. And the first time I ever got it was at Denny's in Los Angeles. It would be the Denny's on Century, which is going to be by where they're going to put in the new metro line. So, and the Denny's is still there. The Roadway Inn is right next to it. It's on Century at, I can't remember the road name, but it's on Century Boulevard. It's west of the 405. And because when we were staying there, when my parents and I, and then when it was my father and I, a few months later, we were staying at the hotels that were just east of there, and we walked to the Denny's. We didn't have to drive there. We walked there.
Wow.
But it was like, the one thing I liked about that hotel, though, especially the La Quinta, which is still there, their pool is up outside on the 3rd floor, and you can see planes landing. Because you can see them coming in for a landing on the north runway. But I mentioned this on a few shows, but we went when we stayed at the La Quinta, it was my mother and father and I. It was September, and lo and behold, in September, the minute the sun goes down in LA, it gets cold.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't stay in the pool more than maybe about an hour after sunset, and then it was cold, and I'm like, I want to go inside. But, and I mean, if we decided, and there's the thing, because NWA is going to be in near LA next year, if we were to go, we would stay at the hotel where the conference is, obviously. But
yes,
but
definitely.
And speaking of that, everybody needs, if any NWA members listening, they need to do their ballot soon, because that's coming up toward the end of the year when they have to have them all in. So,
and the announcements for abstracts are going out, believe it or not. This is how much time flies. Announcements for abstracts are going out in 1 month.
yeah. And then you'll typically get you'll start doing the hotel reservation probably in March.
Seems like they just finished up the last one, and
September.
they're already about ready to call for abstracts for the next one. Wow.
Yeah. And next year's is going to be in LA, actually in Orange County, but West Coast ones tend to be lightly attended. I mean, because of a lot of East Coast people are not going to spend the amount of money it's going to cost to go to the West.
Right.
So it's going to be pretty much a lot of West Coast bias. And some people that'll still go. A lot of the counselors and whatnot will go, but or have to, because they have to. But so for that's coming up, and then they'll announce who's won for everything that's up. So other than that,
I think I'm good.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think I'm kind of
ranted out.
Yeah. Now, of course, next week is Christmas weekend, so I don't know if we're probably going to do a show.
It looks like right now we may not be, but that might change.
Would you want to do it on Friday?
Yeah. If there was a day where I could do it, it'd be Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do it on the 23rd.
I think that'll work.
And then the following week, we'll run into the fact that we'll be running on New Year's. It would be, if we did it back on Saturday, we'd be on New Year's Eve. And I pretty much know Matt is not going to be available New Year's Eve, because my guess is Matt is not going to be spending his time in his apartment right across the street from a bar that I still think is still closed.
Yes, it's still closed. If I'm going anywhere, it's not going to be anywhere around here for New Year's, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's going to go to Bora Bora.
Oh, I wish. Oh, I wish.
You could go back. You could go back to Mexico.
Don't tempt me, because I have a credit card and I have an iPhone. I could have a trip booked in about 10 minutes.
Oh, great. He's not taking me.
Hey, if you want to go, but you got to fork up the cash.
Yeah, but the thing is, I need a passport.
You need a passport? Oh, geez. Well, then you're hosed for a New Year's Eve trip then.
Yeah, I'm hosed from now until, April.
Unless, and I've done this before a trip to Mexico. Okay, now we're going to get on this. You're going to get me started.
Uh-oh.
My ex-wife and I went on a family trip to Cancun, to Cozumel in April.
Which was a Polygon episode for those that
Yes, that was a Polygon episode. I did one live.
He was half drunk.
I wasn't half drunk. I hadn't even started drinking yet. That I remember, but that was a while ago. There's a lot happened since then. But the night before we left to get on the plane to go on said trip, couldn't find my passport. Couldn't find it to save my life. And my in-laws were at our house. My ex-wife was tearing the house apart. I was tearing another part of the house apart, and my truck. Couldn't find it to save my life. Well, we didn't find it, so I took them to the airport the next morning at like 5 a.m. And as soon as I dropped them off, I cannonballed them to down.
And that's the end of that. Yeah, Matt just dropped off because that's the best part. Oh, that was funny. I don't know what happened there. I think Matt's iPad, iPhone, whatever, is not liking him being on tonight. Oh, that was funny. I think we had something like, we had this kind of thing on the Polygon episode when it was in Cozumel or in Cancun. I don't remember offhand. But we'll see if Matt comes on. If he doesn't, we'll end it. So, I mean, I wonder if Matt is still talking and not realizing he's not on anymore. He'd be like, and now brought to you by People Now. What in the heck's going on outside? Oh, well, now we got to do live breaking news. Something's going on outside my door. Oh, people are having a conversation out in the thing. And they're like, hey, Redmill, woo! So, I don't know what that was about. So, anyway, I'm sure Matt's probably still wailing away on his story and not realizing that he's not on anymore. And no, for those who would know, I didn't kick him. He just, I was listening to the story and he abruptly ended, and it's like, oh, because he dropped off. Yay, or whatever. So, see if he comes. We'll wait a minute or two more, and we'll see if he comes back. If he doesn't, we'll end it here. But we'll see if there's any yeah. So, but yeah, Matt just said that, as you can hear. But so for that, we're probably going off to enjoy this cold, lovely weather. Matt, and now we probably know why Matt left. He's booking his trip to Bora Bora, which right now, if I can look that up. Yeah, I think Matt's on his way to Bora Bora, so Matt could be spending his money and buying me a Corvette. But we'll end it here. We'll be back right before Christmas, hopefully. So we'll be back then. So stay right there. Well, I don't know why you would stay there because I'm not coming back for another couple of days. So stick around for several more episodes. Maybe some guests are coming in the new year. Ooh, we'll see. So you stick around, and for Matt, this is Jeff. Bye-bye, everybody, and stay warm or go outside.